Good afternoon and welcome along to the Worldwide Gooner Elite podcast. This is the review of Arsenal's 0-0 draw at Elland Road yesterday against Leeds United. Joined here with Russ today, big Leeds United fan and good pal of mine as well. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Not bad, Mike. How are you?
Yeah, doing good actually. Obviously, we got lots to talk about with the game. It wasn't really a 0-0, was it? In terms of the chances created and everything, I know a lot of Arsenal fans are going to be very pleased, and we'll touch on that in a minute in regards to the fact it ended 0-0. But from a Leeds perspective, what were your thoughts on that? Because you were the dominant side, really, to be honest, for the full 90 minutes, well, 90 plus, in fact, with the injury time as well.
Yeah, we should have at least won it, to be fair. We crossbar saved you a few times. Posted as well, Woodwork. Then I made a good save from tonight, Stuart Dallas. That was heading into the top corner from Dallas's effort as well. We've played very, very well. Deserved to win it. Pepe, we'll go on to his incidents in a moment, but as I said, that was very, very stupid of what he did to Ashton and Alioski. And we're also down to the abuse that the Arsenal fans were giving both Pepe and Alioski, which was also very stupid in his minority of Arsenal fans. In regards to that incident, the social media thing, I just want to point out, Mike, and I think you'll agree with this, and Arsenal fans watching will as well, they're not Arsenal fans.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. They're just people that are out to troll and just to kind of, just to abuse the player or the players in question. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of the remarks towards Pepe. I'm not going to read any out on here, but they are towards the colour of his skin. If you have a check on, I saw loads on Twitter, so if you have a check on there, you'll be able to see them loads on there. We'll go through player ratings for both sides a bit later on, and I'll compare my Arsenal ones to Mike's a bit later as well, so we'll see how we differ in Arsenal player ratings as well. So enjoy the game. Thought we deserved to win it, and probably should have won it with the amount of chances we had. 25 chances. Leeds had 9, Arsenal had. So completely dominant performance from the Whites yesterday.
And actually, he defended really, really well as well. Because, I think there was one chance in the second half from Bukayo Saka. But, Aubameyang through the middle didn't get a sniff. Pepe, Willian didn't really get a sniff. And, Reece Nelson, when he come on, didn't really get a look in either. So actually the defence, really put in a good performance as well. The likes of Liam Cooper and, Koch and everybody like that actually performed really, really well.
Yeah, and in my player ratings for Koch, which we'll go on to a bit later on for and Liam Cooper, I said they both did brilliantly to Arsenal offered very little to upset the pair. Well, especially with Cooper put down, there was also brilliant with dealing Aubameyang's their counters that he did. Well, it took Arsenal to the 60th minute of their first shot on target, Mike, which was that one where Aubameyang turned and Melee saved quite comfortably, and to be honest, Melee didn't look troubled at all. Leno were the busier of the two keepers if you in comparing both teams. And Melee only had really one chance to do, which was that to deny Saka late on, which he did absolutely brilliant with. And the cross comes shot from Pepe in the first half, glanced the crossbar. That could have gone either way as well, but he did very, very well to sort of that. And
that's what I mean, though. We only had half chances in the first half. That one from Pepe, you can't really class that as a chance. The one from Aubameyang where he kind of swiveled and shot on the sort of half volley and sort of miscued it wide. Other than that, there wasn't really too many opportunities from an Arsenal perspective in the first half anyway. And then the second half was very much the same.
It was, Arsenal. Like I said, Mike, I watched Arsenal's game against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
And I was comparing both performances. And on the counter-attack against Villa and against us, you counter-attack with 2 players. All the time. If you're going to 8 teams, you need to attack with your front 3 at all times, or at least your front 4, because I also played 4-2-3-1 yesterday.
Yeah.
We need to tell those players at all times, not attacking with just 2 players, which were, for majority of time for Arsenal, for me yesterday, fell like in the first half, Willian and Aubameyang. second half, it was more Nelson and Aubameyang.
Yeah, Reece Nelson, when he come on, looked good. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked good. And even when he went to full back, to midfield when Pepe got sent off, which we'll go into a bit later as well, Mike, into midfield, and just left Aubameyang up front on his own. He was the one mainly trying to cause problems down Leeds, but I thought Stuart Dallas, Alioski, when you were on, Harrison when you were on as well, Paveda I'll touch upon Paveda a bit later as well, but Stuart Dallas, I thought he had a fantastic game in Milan. Harrison, and then Alioski and Rafinha when Paveda came on. I thought Rafinha did well to double up with Alioski on Nelson, and didn't really let Nelson have a sniff or have a real goal scoring chance.
No, and I think Reece Nelson, he come on at half time there, and obviously he was the man that made the difference in the FA Cup tie as well back at the start of the year in January when Leeds, obviously Championship at that point, gave us a real scare and actually, could have probably taken us to a replay, in fact, on that day as well in the FA Cup.
Yeah, and on that day, Mike, going back to the one you just mentioned in January, compared to the side which Leeds put out yesterday, it was much changed. At that point, Illan Meslier, who started in goal yesterday, made a great save from Saka in the second half. He was our number 2 goalkeeper then. He's now our number 1, which I can see as number 1 then. Now as roles reversing, you can see why Mellier's become the first choice goalkeeper at Elland Road. Because his shot stopping yesterday, Saka late on. Sometimes he's a bit questionable on crosses, but he's only young, he's only 20, 21.
And
he
actually,
can learn from that.
Yeah, just going to what you said there about being questionable on the crosses, that played a part. I'm sure that played a part in the fact that I think after it had gone to 11 versus 10, and we had the set pieces, we were pretty much swarming around the goalkeeper there, and I think that was because we knew that he was a little bit questionable, and he, doesn't always claim them cleanly.
Yeah, but majority of the time, but like I was saying to a few people, once Calvin Phillips is in our side, our back 4 or back 5, if you like to call it, never gets really troubled. Take him out, which he was out for the last couple of games, where we conceded 8 prior to this Arsenal match.
Yeah, 2-4-1 defeat. Yeah.
2-4-1 defeats. You saw him be his defence and goalkeeper being exposed a bit more, whereas yesterday, more solid. Phillips were helping out. Yes, he made a few passes which were short in the first half, and it looked a bit rusty considering his first game back.
Yeah, he did
about 4 weeks or so. But that match Stormers will come back once he starts playing on a regular basis. So I think he did quite. So I think overall, I think we did quite well. And Rodrigo, Mike, I mentioned we hit the crossbar and post a few times. Rodrigo's 2 chances in space of 5 minutes. One Jefferson may point out. On another day, one of those could have easily gone in, and Bamford had a late on as well. That could have gone in. And on another day, that could have bounced in off these side of the bar, post the same, come back out. On another day, that could have crossed the line, and the problems that Paveda caused as well late on, and Rodrigo, they played a big part in trying to get the winner, which kind of helped him create that creative spark, which in the majority of the first half didn't really have. Click should have scored in the first half when they got cut inside and got ball played to him. But Arsenal, credit to Arsenal, Mike, and credit to you. As well as I said to you yesterday, the woodwork saved you. Yes, woodwork did at times, but Leno and Tini both putting some good performances as well. I'm not taking that away from him like you thought I might have done yesterday. I want to speak to you after a game about it.
Yeah.
I think the woodwork for me was your man of the match. Other than for me, I'll go into the ratings a bit more later. But other than Leno, for me, man of the woodwork was Arsenal's best defender out there.
Not too far wrong, actually, to be honest with you. I tell you what, though, in regards to that burnt Leno save in the first half as well, that was an exceptional save from Bamford. And actually, he's learning as well, Leno, because I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago. I think we played Liverpool, if I remember correctly, and Leno had a similar sort of save to make, but he carried it straight out into the danger area. and the Liverpool man, I think it was, just taps it into an open goal. So actually, and he didn't do that yesterday, which was, it shows that he's learning, and he's, Arteta's actually got into his head a bit since that game and said, right, if you're going to parry it, then parry it away from the striker, and he done that well yesterday.
Yeah, and considering when you touch on that strike, Mike, if you look at that strike again, Bamford didn't really get a clean connection onto it. So he come down and you just flicked his foot towards the ball. If he'd have got a clean connection, I think he would have probably played beyond Leno, and then we've probably seen a different game. Also would have had to come out and attack, and close down try and get the equaliser, which would give us Leeds space to get in and probably get two, maybe three more, another couple of goals to really secure the win. Which, if you look on balance of play, and what you said to me yesterday, and what a lot of people have said, it would have been an unjust result. It would have been a fair result if we'd have won it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And I just want to ask you, Mike, as an Arsenal fan, I bet you was pleased after watching that yesterday, coming away with a point rather than losing all three.
Oh, 100%. And actually, if you look at the second half as well, on the back of going down to 10 men, it was about 51 minutes, I think it was, when Pepe was sent off. And we played about 7 minutes of stoppage time. So we actually played a full 45 minutes with a man less.
Yeah, and all the reason you played that many minutes stoppage time, you put up 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It says that, it'll say that around about 3, 4, 5 minutes towards the end of the match.
Yeah.
He did say 5 minutes of stoppage time because there was a couple of injuries. That's why he played within that time. That's from when he said, and when the ball went up, that's why he played on to the 96th minute. But he played him really resumed till the 97th, to the 92nd minute. So he should have really gone on from the 92nd minute to the 97th, but he blew up just before the 97th minute.
Leeds were on the counter attack, weren't you? I think
we just took a corner. We just took a corner about to swing the ball in. So he could have at least waited till he got to Nets, waiting for that attack to finish, see where they come from it, and say if Arsenal had it clear, then blow, or if we put it in back in net, Arsenal would have been able to complain because the 5 minutes was started from the 92nd minute, in my opinion.
I don't even, query that anyway, because it's always a minimum of. So, that's exactly what they say. It's a minimum of 5 minutes. So if there's injuries or stoppages, then you will have to play on for a bit longer.
Yeah, and the 5 minutes didn't start till the 92nd minute anyway. So if we just scored, say, in the 97th, as it was going into, that would have been the full 5 minutes of stoppage time, and then it probably blown up a full time after the game as well.
No, absolutely.
After kicked off, should I say, Mike?
Yeah, but I do think that if Leeds were that serious about winning the game, they'd just whip it straight in rather than take a short corner at the same time. But there you go.
Yeah, unless the personal to the last corner, unless the player comes short, had a better angle to whip it in rather than to go direct in. Because if you'd have gone direct in, you're probably going around your goalkeeper area where keeper could have come through. Whereas if he plays it short, could have whipped it in away from the keeper, so keeper has to come out, probably miss it, comes to one of our players to head into an empty goal. Maybe that's probably why they took the short corner late on, try and get a different angle to go and do different variations, repacking your goal line area, because it gives your players have to come out to try and defend the cross coming in, which are going to give our players a chance to attack and get in between you to head it towards goal.
Well, we've had a comment as well, Jordan, in the chat there, saying that he found it a bit odd that there was a short corner right at the end from Leeds. If you're that serious about winning the game, you just whip it straight in. Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan, I agree, but I think but like I was saying to Mike just there, I think probably the reason is the cross from the player we're going to cross it in, would have had a better angle to put the ball into the area than from the corner taker. Yeah, and I think that's probably why they took the short corner to try and get that extra ball in and away from the defenders rather than in towards them. Draw the defenders out to get our attacking players with more chance to run in and head towards goal. But I get what you're saying, Jordan, but I think that's the reason why we took that short corner.
And we'll touch on the lineups as well. There was a couple of players missing from Arsenal. Kolasinac and El Neni have both been positive tested for coronavirus, and they're obviously unavailable for a couple of weeks now. Also, we've got Thomas Partey out injured at the moment as well, and David Luiz was unavailable because he was just had a baby, hadn't he? His wife had just had a baby, so he was unavailable because of that.
Yeah, and Kolasinac, El Nani, positive COVID, Partey injured with a thigh strain, so
yeah,
you're looking a bit thin. I thought Arsenal's midfield yesterday didn't really do that much, didn't really create that much. I think you're looking a bit thin in that area, Mike. I'm not sure if you would agree on that, if you think you need to strengthen them, and you lacked a bit of creative spark, and you've got one man at the club who could give you that creative spark, who's not being picked in this 25-man squad, and that is Mesut Ozil.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying in regards to Ozil, I literally have forgotten about the guy. I want to move on from him as quickly as we can. And, if we want some creative spark in the team, give Smith Rowe a go.
Yeah, but he won't even. I don't think even on the bench yesterday, Mike. I think you're lacking that creative energy in that midfield for Arsenal, and I think that's your problem, especially in these last couple of games. That creative spark to get on the game and to get into the game.
Mm-hmm. And we've got a message here from Russ as well, Russ Morgan. I think you probably like his name, but I don't know if you like the team he supports, because he's saying VAR saved Leeds yesterday, and that Arsenal should have had a penalty as well. I know exactly what he's referring to. The one, I think it hit, was it Liam Cooper's hand?
Yes.
For me, it's never a penalty. No chance.
No penalty that made, because when you're falling, your arms are going. When you're turning away, your arms are going to be live towards his body anyway, and it just strikes his arm. It's been like that one where in the Man United game, Mike, against West Brom, the player turned, I think it was Furlong turned, hit his arm. The referee involved gave a penalty that day. That was never a penalty. Cooper's incident was the same.
Yeah,
but that was never a penalty either.
No, I agree. As soon as I saw it, I was like, no, you can't. You can claim that all you want. No referee's given that. No. We've got a question here from Jordan again as well. I'll scroll up a little bit because it was actually one for both of us. Do I feel nervous for the North London derby on the current form? And he says, to you, in fact, are you happy with Leeds' start? Have you done better or worse than you thought you'd do at the stage of the season? And I'll let you go first on that in regards to Leeds' actual start to the season.
I've got the fixtures up beside me, Mike.
Yeah.
On this little booklet here that I've got with every single fixtures in. We've had Liverpool, Man City, Leicester, Arsenal, who were in and around the top 6 area last season in the Premier League. Plus, we've had Fulham, who came up with us, Sheffield United, who was up in the top half last season.
Yeah.
Wolves, Aston Villa, Palace in there as well. I know this isn't going to be like last season, where we win majority of our games because we've gone up into the Premier League, new side.
Yeah.
First season back after 16 years. If someone had said to me, after 9 matches, you'll be sitting 14 on 11 points, which we're currently on after that draw yesterday, I'd be happy with that. I did say at the start of the season, before the season started, when I was speaking to a few people who go to games when we were able to go to games, or we went to games with the start of the season, I reckon Leeds will finish 12th this season.
And that's a good season. That's a good season for Leeds as well. Finish mid-table was a good season, yeah.
Yeah, finish mid-table, consolidate in his first season back. Then the following season, we can push on the extra step, try and get into Europe, try and get either Europa League or Champions League, consolidate and move on. So, in answer to your question, George, I'm happy with how we've started, and I think with the games that we've got coming up, Everton, Chelsea in his next two tough games, especially the way Everton are playing a minute and Chelsea are.
But actually, with Leeds do better against the so-called bigger teams because you gave Liverpool a scare, you gave us a very big scare yesterday and could have got 3 points there. You gave Man City a big scare and got a draw against them as well. So I think that's the kind of game that Bielsa and Leeds actually like.
Yeah, and especially playing teams away from home, all our big teams. Because if we play away from home, the home side who we're playing against, so like Everton, Chelsea, they will have to come and attack us and bring the game to us. Well, when teams come and play against us, we seem to perform better. Because if you look at that Aston Villa game that we had back in October, they come and attacked us. We played better. While the flow women end 1-3-0. Man City game, they come and attacked us. Got draw out of that. First 20 minutes in that Man City game, we were very, very nervy. But after that, settled down, going into his game. We took the game to Liverpool. They had to come out and attack us. Took the game to them, unfortunately lost that one.
Just so about. I think only just lost that one. But I think when teams attack us, we seem to do better than when teams pour the bus. Yeah,
also say pack the defence. We saw that times and time again last season in the Championship, and I think we can see it again now. And Mike, in terms of you, and in rejoining question, are you now nervous going into the North London derby, which is coming up this coming weekend?
Yeah, next weekend. Yeah, not this weekend.
Next weekend.
But yeah, you have to be really. If you look at the form that we're in at the moment, the fact we can't really score goals. We scored one goal in I don't know how many games. I think it was like 4 games or whatever it was now, and that was the penalty against Manchester United in the league. So yeah, the Europa League doesn't really count as well. Obviously, we've done all right in the Europa League and we've won the games in that. But in terms of the Premier League, yeah, because you look at Spurs, you look at how they're performing, and you look at their sort of front line as well, with the likes of Harry Kane and Son as well. Even Gareth Bale and the other guys that they've got in there as well. You have to look at that and you have to be wary, and you have to be at the moment. You have to be concerned for the North London derby because, Spurs are the team that are flying, as the table shows at the moment. The table doesn't lie.
Yeah, looking back, I think he's going on around about. I'm not sure if he's either 800 or 8 hours, should I say, 8 hours of football.
Yeah.
Where Arsenal haven't scored from open play. Does that concern you at all, Mike?
Massively, yeah. You look at Aubameyang, since he signed the contract, has been poor. His goals have dried up. You look at Pepe, you're relying on him to create and to, and we're going to be without him for 3 games now, the Wolves game, the Spurs game, and then the game after that as well. Willian has been very underrated since overrated since he signed as well. I don't think he's performed anywhere near the standard that any Arsenal fans or football fans that know Willian would have expected of him. So yeah, you have to be. And Lacazette again as well is another one that he didn't even get on yesterday because of the red card and everything. But it's another player that's out of form. So you have to be concerned, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at your bench, Mike, yesterday from yesterday. You had Runnison as a sub-goalkeeper, Saka, who came on, Milan-Niles came on, Saka were injured, Fitch Nelson on as well. But 2 players we had on the bench, Alex Lacazette, Eddie Nketiah. With Aubameyang not cutting it up front, I know he's the captain of the club. Were you surprised not to see Lacazette or Nketiah come on at all yesterday?
Not really. When you look at the way that the game went on the back of having the man down as well with Pepe getting sent off, I think we wanted to just pack out the midfield and Saka's a creative spark. He's bright. He could have had a goal yesterday with the chance he had as well. And at the end of the day, we brought Maitland-Niles on a midfielder. We brought Nelson on a midfielder. You can see what we were trying to do, and you can see that we've worked on that in training as well to actually play 11 against 10 because, we shaped up very, very well, in fact, on the back of Pepe getting sent off. And, that's something that a lot of Arsenal fans are saying that they don't really have faith in Arteta now. But that's something that you have to look at and you have to be like, well, we've had a man less for the whole second half pretty much and still been able to, deal with a very strong Leeds side who put us under the cosh for the whole of that second half.
Yeah, we did, and we come in looking at our performance yesterday. I'm happy with how we responded, especially after losing the last 2 games, 4-1 in both of them.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with that. I think with the performance that we are playing, like I said, we've got Phillips back,
Yeah.
got Rodrigo back, because he had COVID as well. He was in close contact, then he tested positive himself, so he missed the Palace game and then international break, so that's why we were able to come back. I remember, I think when he came on, I think that changed a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And I know Poveda came on with 10 minutes to go, and probably fetch Rodrigo on as soon as Pepe got sent off.
He looked bright when he come on, Rodrigo. He had those couple of chances that, whistled just over the bar, yeah.
Yeah, and one which hit the top corner, top of the bar, and the one that which looked like he just went, and then one that just actually in the middle of the crossbar as well, Rodrigo. They probably fetched him on in the 51st minute when Pepe got sent off, and then in the 70th minute, I'd have fetched on Ian Poveda for Harrison, because I thought Harrison was tiring a little bit, and then move Rafinha across, because I think he did that just 10 minutes too late. That last change, I think, for me.
That's something I didn't know as well, that Ian Poveda actually had a spell with Arsenal. He was, Arsenal were one of the number of clubs that he had a youth spell with.
Yeah, also Barcelona as well, and
Chelsea,
we're actually signing from. And we're signing from Manchester and Man City as well. We're signing from Man City last January as well, which and he had to wait until June to get his first start in the first team. And when he's come on, he's done really, really bright as well. He's been at Chelsea, Arsenal, Barcelona, Brentford in the youth system before signing for Manchester City back in 2016, and he was there till this year. So. And he played one game on the bench in the Champions League when they played Atlanta Man City before coming to Leeds.
Oh, really? All right.
As well. And before he actually signed for Leeds, Poveda, Mike, he was in talk with Torino and Hoffenheim. So in Italy and in Germany.
Hoffenheim was where Reece Nelson spent that loan. Yeah.
So he had talks with those two clubs, but then he had a word with Pep Guardiola, and Guardiola said he felt Leeds would be the place for him to develop, because he knows Bielsa quite well, does Guardiola, racing Miley, along with Emmanuel Lamy mentioned in my former Spurs boss, Pochettino also hates Bielsa highly, so probably spoke. So after that, he's doing really well, made his debut against Cardiff, and then continued and made his first appearance this season against All in the Cup, and then made his Premier League debut against Sheffield United, and he's going on well, and he's represented England from under 16 level to under 20 level, and every level from under 16s as well. And so
I was going to say we'll touch on the main incident of the game, which was the red card for Nicola Pepe, and it actually started a few minutes beforehand, didn't it, as well, with him and Alioski having a few sort of handbags, I suppose you'd call it. And then about 2-3 minutes later, Pepe decided he wanted to carry it on. And, he goes in with his head. And you can't do that when you've got VAR, because you're going to be straight away down the tunnel again.
Yeah, and if you look, I've seen a lot of people saying Alioski must have said something to kick it all off. But if you watch the whole incident, which he showed you on Sky, and I watched Match of Day too earlier just to see what they had to say. And if you sort of there as well, he started where Pepe just gives him a little push, Alioski a little push, trying to like he's holding off his man, and then he's giving him another push as well.
Yeah,
Alioski's giving a push back as holding off his man. Then Pepe did it again and again, and ball going back to one Arsenal players. Got played into Pepe, but Alioski managed to just nick a foot in and get the ball away for Leeds. And then we tried breaking. Then a bit later on, because we didn't actually see it at the time, no one saw it, not even Adam Pope and Noel Wheeler from local radio covering the game for BBC Radio Leeds. They never even saw it either, Mike. And then you saw it a bit later on, and you saw where he continues pushing and shoving him. Then just walks up to him, starts pushing and shoving. Now, like Pepe were going to turn away, then you just turn back round, because I think Arios could just probably just give me a little touch, push in the back, which we noted was like a little shove to hold off your man because ball was coming towards Alioski at the time, so just hold off his man, and then he turned round and just put his head there, and very, very poor from Pepe. And like I say, can't do that lot. And then speaking about these two players, Mike, we'll mention this as well and get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, go on.
All these incidents which I'm about to mention now, guys, is on social media and they've come from all Arsenal fans, no Leeds fans, just so I can point out this. Both Nicola Pepe and Özcan received threats on social media. Pepe, the racial abused on Twitter by Arsenal so-called fans. I'll put it that way. And I've seen some death threats to Alioski and towards his family as well, saying some Arsenal fans saying they're going to find out where he lives in post-death letters through his door. And the one where I saw him who said he's going to find out where he lives and this is Alioski, this is Mike, and make a bomb and post it through his letterbox while him and his family are sleeping.
Wow, that's you've summed it up perfectly there.
Mike, your volume's gone.
Hello?
Just 1 second, guys. We'll just lost Mike there for a second.
Hold on, let me just come out and go back in. What about now? Hello?
We've got you now, Mike. I can hear you again now, mate.
I don't know what happened there. I had to just jump out and jump back in again. It was been a bit weird. But yeah, I was going to say in regards to that incident as well, that, you summed it up perfectly. They're not fans. They're not football people. They're just people that have seen the incident. They're very blinkered over it. And they've just decided they want to target these individuals, Yeah,
and then if you also regarding that incident as well, where you've just mentioned at the end of the game, I mentioned to you last night, which you said you didn't see it. I'll explain what happened at the end of the game now, Max. And I said you didn't see because you gave it.
No, I was getting ready to come back to mine here. Yeah.
To come back to yours from your parents after watching it there.
Yeah.
Kieran Tierney at the end of the game walked up towards Alioski. Alioski was talking to Xhaka about the game probably and about incidents and everything, and probably Xhaka were probably making sure Alioski were okay after that incident, and that Tina came up towards him trying having a go. He got pulled away by Ceballos. Xhaka even told him to go away. There was Liam Cooper in there. Stuart Dallas trying to pull him away.
Scotland team, yeah.
And then he rolled back towards him, and then he got pulled away again by Stuart Dallas, the Northern Ireland international, and Cooper. Ceballos came across as well, and then Ceballos had to hand him to one of the coaching staff, and he had to go once, then had to go around the other side, and they both had to walk him off of the pitch and towards the dressing room area for Arsenal, because it looked like he was going to do that. And I think for trying to go to and get him and put his hands out to try and grab him as well at the end of the game.
I did see that. I did have a little look at the end of it. That part of it again. I looked earlier on today, in fact, and you could see that there was his Scotland teammate Liam Cooper trying to put him away. I did see that, and Xhaka as well. And I did see him be sort of led around a different way. And I started to have a look and kind of have a little think in my head whether that was because he'd been sent off again after the whistle. But according to VAR, he wasn't.
Yeah, Tierney was sent off after the game, Mikey. I think he would be upset to the way Alioski went down to get Pepe sent off. But in the incident like that, Mike, you've got to make the most of it when there's cameras there. Because I was saying on Match of Day 2, the incident where Michael Richards, I think we're back in 2000, I'm not sure when it was, but when we were playing for Aston Villa, got butted by a Swansea player. Right. He didn't go down at the time.
Yeah.
And he didn't get sent off. If they were saying if Alioski hadn't gone down, he even with VAR, they don't think he would have been sent off. So he had to go down to get the player sent off.
No. I think he would have been sent off. If you look at the incident with the VAR, they straight away the referee looked at the monitor once and he's like, "Yeah, that's it, you're gone."
Yeah, but I don't think VAR would have noticed it without Alioski going down to the floor. Yes, he went down theatrically, Alioski, but that was just to make sure the officials, or because the referee had turned, video officials had seen it. Maybe the linesman may have seen it if we didn't have VAR. The linesman were on that side. We're now in the off where it happened. So I think he would have probably seen it. But may have seen it and may have drawn the attention to the referee because the referee, Anthony Taylor's back was turned. So I think that's probably why Tini went to have a word with him. But Xhaka probably having a word with him will be more calmly than Kieran Tini was trying to do.
I'll tell you what I will say is that Xhaka's there trying to pull Tierney away. Where's Aubameyang? Where's your captain?
Yeah, probably Aubameyang probably already gone down to probably Migler Park with when other Leeds players checking hands or whatever.
Yeah.
And then coming off or swapping shirts or whatever as well. And speaking of swapping shirts, Rafinha for Leeds and Gabriel, both teammates at Brazil. They end up swapping shirts at the end of the game. So Aubameyang will probably speak to one of other Leeds players, maybe Paveda or even one of other players.
Yeah.
To swap shirts with them at the end of the match, who played in the game to hang up on the wall after he played against one of the best Leeds players that we've got at the moment at our club. Who performed very well yesterday.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on something as well. I know there was quite a lot in the media last week in regards to some of the Arsenal players, Aubameyang going to Gabon and having to sleep on the airport floor. And then also Willian as well. Willian wasn't out with Brazil. He's not with Brazil. But he was on a trip to Dubai. And apparently it was an essential trip that he had to make. Do you think that had any impact on their performances yesterday? I know it wasn't essential when you look at it as well in the end with the Willian incident. And he just went there for a meal by the looks of it, which is a little bit stupid. And I actually thought that he might have been left out of the squad yesterday because of that. But, Arteta obviously didn't see that fit to do that.
Yeah, I agree with the Willian one, Mike. I think that probably shown on his performance there. I'm not sure if he did on Aubameyang as well, Mike, like you mentioned, but on Willian one, I think that did play a part. I'll go down to ratings a little bit later, but for me, Mike, what I will say is below 5 in my category.
Yeah, he was poor.
How he performed, in my opinion.
He was poor, really poor. Yeah, I think there's been about one game that I've seen him this season that he's looked okay, but he's never really pulled up trees as Willian yet. No.
So I've put him below 5. So guys, if you continue to watch this, you'll see one number. Or if you watch it back, you'll be able to give him shortly as well. But I think it might have played a part in their performances, Mike.
Yeah.
And Michael, ask your opinion. Bukayo Saka not starting yesterday, and when we Pepe.
Yeah.
Do you think that could be? We touched it on commentary yesterday, Gary Neville and Martin Tyler, and I would tend to agree because I think probably one of the reasons why he didn't start him. I've not really seen much of him for Arsenal because I've not really watched much Arsenal games, especially if he played at the same time as Leeds.
I know exactly what you're going to say. The fact he has so many minutes with England, international.
Can't hear you, mate.
Hello? Hello?
There we go, mate. What are you saying, mate?
I was saying, I know exactly what you're going to say. It's going to be in regards to the fact he has so many minutes with England on international duty.
Yeah, do you think it's down to him playing? Because he came on in one of the games and then played 2 games and came on in the other and had virtually 4 games in all 3 internationals. Do you think that's probably the reason why he didn't start yesterday, due to the fact that he played all 3 games for England?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think that's a definite factor in it.
Yeah, so Mike, I think if if you want to, mate, we should move on to player ratings now, if you want, mate.
Yeah, I know you wanted to mention one thing which you didn't get round to mentioning so far in regards to what happened just before the game as well with the mascot. I know you wanted to mention that.
Yeah, well, yes, I don't know if if you saw the game, you saw seeing Liam Cooper holding an iPad as the teams came out. A 13-year-old Leeds fan has got cancer and terminally ill, and during the Make-A-Wish project, which Leeds are doing, they had a chance to make him and his sister mascot for the day. And he was up on the big screen. He's Elliot, I can't remember his surname, 13-year-old, he's got cancer, and Liam Cooper, if this game would have gone ahead, he would have probably been at the game, because of behind closed doors. Liam Cooper FaceTimed him or Zoomed him, not sure which, on his iPad, came out so he could see Elland Road and walk out with the players yesterday. In the tunnel you saw before the game, Luke Hale and Matthias Click all waving to him and smiling with a few other players there as well, all walking out, talking to him in the tunnel over that. And then he walked out onto the pitch, which I thought was a great touch, Mike. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I thought it was excellent as well from Cooper and from Leeds, and everybody involved, Bielsa and everybody, to actually allow that to happen. That was, I'm sure that made his day. So fair play, Leeds. Well done.
Yes, and I just want to say, Mike, we've just had someone pop in. Welcome to Cash. CPL Cash, aka Dan. How you doing, mate? He's watching over on Twitter right now. And Mike, before Twitch, I mean, he's watching on Twitch. And before we move on, Mike, I've seen a comment a bit ago from Jordan Stringer.
Go on, yeah.
He says, this is a question to you, Mike. Do you still have faith in Mikel Arteta? And Cash, with you being here and being an Arsenal fan, put it in the comments, mate. Do you still have faith in Mikel Arteta at Arsenal?
You have to be, really. He's a very young, up-and-coming manager. He's worked under some good managers in, the likes of Pep Guardiola and stuff as well. You have to, have faith in him. He's learning on the job as he goes. And, at the moment, I'd say stick with him and go from there. But, I'm sure there's plenty of other people that are looking at it on different heads and are saying, well, Arteta has had his time, and that he's not really experienced enough for a club like Arsenal. And I can see where they're coming from as well.
Yes, I just started I noticed that one earlier, Mike, and I didn't know if you'd seen this. I thought I'd mention that one, see get your opinion on that, and Cash, get your opinions in, and we'll get back to your comments in a minute. He's been in Mike now, Arteta. I'm just looking up when he got appointed last December now, when he got appointed.
Just coming on for a year, yeah.
It'll be a year on the 20th of December. So by that point, Mike, if you give him till the exact year to the date, you'll have the games that you've got coming up prior to that day. You'll have played Wolves, then Spurs, Burnley, Southampton, and then Everton. Looking at that running, Mike, and the performances that you're playing.
Yeah.
Before I move on to player ratings from yesterday.
Yeah.
How many points and how many points do you think you're going to get from that run? And do you think Arsenal will get to go from open play in any of those games?
I think we will at the weekend. I think we'll beat Wolves at the weekend. I think we've got Europa League before that on Thursday night as well. So I do think that, we'll get a confidence-boosting win on Thursday, and then we'll go into Sunday and win that one. Spurs is going to be very difficult, as I said earlier. And I'll take a draw against Spurs right now. If it was given to me, if it was offered, I'd be like, yeah, I'll have that. I'll take that. And then Burnley, we should absolutely, we should beat them. But football's a funny old game, as you've seen with, games this season, with Villa absolutely annihilating Liverpool, for example. And then Liverpool yesterday with a very weak side, getting a very convincing 3-0 victory over Leicester. So anything can happen. But I'd say 3 points against Burnley. What else? Who else did you say we had? We had
Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton. Is that away? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, no, Southampton. You've got Wolves at home, away, Burnley at home, Southampton at home, and then Everton away, man.
Okay, so
Up to that weekend.
Yeah, Southampton at home. A bit of a bogey team as well. You know, they've got some good players out there, so they have to be a little bit wary of them. But I'd say 3 points there. And Everton, yeah, that's going to be a hard game going to Goodison Park as well. If you look at the players they've got and who they've signed as well. So I'd probably say, you know, we'll get 3 wins out of that, and that'll be the home games, I think. In regards to the away games at Spurs and Everton, then I'll be happy if we got a draw in both, yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen it coming from Cashier Mike. He says, yes, I believe so. As we said in the debate, Lemo's channel yesterday, Mike.
Yeah.
Lemo57 on Twitch, guys, if you want to go and check him out. Everyone is too quick to blame managers these days. He hasn't been near a year yet. He says he has a monumental task on his hands.
Yeah.
He's only had one window, technically. His January doesn't really count.
Yeah.
As he wasn't even appointed manager at that point, only head coach.
Yeah, that's a good shout as well. He's only had the one window, and in that window, you know, he has signed Thomas Partey, who's an exceptional player. Gabriel was signed in the you know, that window as well, wasn't it? And he's actually signed some good players. So, you know, there's promising signs about the players that he's brought in. I know you look at Willian, and Willian hasn't pulled up any trees yet, but you know, he's the kind of player that does have talent, and get him into a bit of confidence. He might be able to do something. Yeah, I agree with Cash there as well. He definitely needs financial backing, but that's the Cronkies for you, because the Cronkies don't back you. That's more interested in the American side of it, the American game. We've got a message there from Nick as well. I'll come on to that in a minute. But yeah, I do think that we'll get a few wins on the board. I think we'll win on the weekend, and there you go, be a bit more rosy again. But I think you have to back Arteta. He's not had a year yet, as we were saying, and he's won trophies. He's won the FA Cup, you know, and he's got the Community Shield under his belt as well. As much as you might not class that as a trophy, but you know, look at the teams we beat along the way in the FA Cup, for example. You know, it shows we can compete.
Yes, I agree, Mike. And shall we move on to the player ratings, and then you can come back to the message from Nick after?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Well, for me, Mike, I'll go do Arsenal first, and then I'll give you a quick rundown of my Leeds ones after. So, my Arsenal ones, Mike. I've gone Berliner.
Hold on, let me open up the article so I can see what you did.
I've got it open on my side as well, Mike, so you can have a look as well, and then you can.
That's the Leeds lot. Here is the Arsenal lot. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
I've gone Berliner 7.
See, I'd give him a 9. I thought he was exceptional. The saves he made. And bar the woodwork, as you say, and saving us as well, I'd give Leno a 9, maybe even going on for a 10.
Then I've gone Hector Bellerin a 5.
Yes, I kind of semi-agree with that. I'd probably say it's maybe slightly one ahead, maybe a 6. Yeah.
I've gone Oldin 5, because I thought defensively at times he didn't really show that much quality that he had. I think we got past him a couple of times with chances, especially clicking the first half where it's over. Otherwise, I'd have probably given him a 6 if we'd been more solid there.
I'll tell you what I've given Bellerin a 6 as well, by the way. It was because that run that he made that set up the chance for Saka. That's why I've given him the 6 there, one ahead of you, because that was a great run from right back.
Okay, mate. I've got Oldin 5, Mike, and I've just explained my reasons there. Would you agree with Oldin on the 5 there?
Yeah, I thought he was probably the weaker of the two centre-backs. So, yeah, I'd say about a 5 is probably a fair score for him, yeah.
Gabriel, I've gone with a 6.
I thought Gabriel was solid. I thought, bar Leno and maybe even Kieran Tierney, Gabriel was up there for man of the match as well. So I'd give him an 8.
For Kieran Tierney, Mike, I would have given him an 8, but I've knocked him down to for the incident which I mentioned at the end of the match, which happened, which we've already touched on. So I've given him a 6 just because I would have given him an 8 if he had to have done ready the full after the final whistle. Because of that, he knocked his rating down a little bit. So I've gone with a 6 for Tierney. Yeah,
that's a fair shout if you're going to knock him down a bit for what happened there. I'd still give him an 8, though. I thought he was exceptional. I thought he was the one man that was showing fight all the way through from an Arsenal perspective. So I'll give him an 8, yeah.
Xhaka, I've gone for a 5.
Didn't really do an awful lot for me. So I'd probably say about the same, yeah.
Ceballos, I thought he was more of the creative two in front of the back four, should we say? So for me, I've given him a 6.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think 6 is the fair score for Danny. Yeah.
Nicola Pepe, I've gone with a 2. I would probably give him about a 4 if he wasn't for that red card, because I didn't think he played that well. But I've given him a 2 because of the incident in the red card. Alioski didn't really do much to warrant him being headbutted and sent off. So I'd give Nicola Pepe a 2.
Hi to Dan and Zoe, by the way, as well. I'd give Nicolas Pepe. It might sound harsh on the fact he actually had a fairly decent-ish first half with the, little bit of play that he did and where he had the crossbar rattled and stuff as well. But I'm going to give him a 0 just for the red card alone because that let us down. So, and actually Arteta's just made a sub. He's just brought Willian off, and brought Reece Nelson on. And he's changed things on the wing, and then Nicolas Pepe goes and does that. You get a 0, mate.
For Willock, I've given him a 5.
I thought he was poor. I thought he was very sort of, he didn't really do an awful lot. The Joe Willock that I've seen in the Europa League has looked really, really good. That was, a patch on that yesterday, so I'd give him a 4, I think.
The next one for me, Mike, is I'll touch on the subs in a moment, Mike, who came on, but the next one, Willian, 4. I thought you were poor. When I alluded to it lower than 5, I've given him a 4. I think he was better than Pepe, but that's but I think Willian did show some times some touches when he got forward a little bit, but with Aubameyang, but I think overall he deserves a 4.
I think that's very, very nice on William's part. I thought he was awful in that first half, hence why he got subbed. I'm going to give him a 2.
Then Aubameyang didn't really have the service, didn't really do much when he had the ball, a 5.
I have to agree with that. He was very isolated up front, and he didn't really have too many opportunities to score or even get a shot away. So I think 5 has been generous, really, but. I suppose 5, is an average performance. And I think he was a little bit below average. So I'm going to knock you down and give him 4, I think, on that one.
And the next one for me, Mike, I'm going to, on the subs now, Saka, I've given him a 6. Because I thought out of the 3 that came on, I've given him a 6.
I thought he was good. He looked bright when he come on. He looked lively. It was a shame he got a knock as well. And hopefully he's fine for Sunday because we'll need him now with Pepe suspended as well. But no, I thought until he got injured and got substituted again, I'm going to give him a 7. Yeah.
And then Nelson, I've got a 5.
Yeah, Nelson looks okay when he come on. I'll say a 5 is probably a fair score for Reece, yeah.
And for Miller now, he didn't really have much time on the ball, didn't really affect the game and didn't have a real influence on the match. So I'm not giving him a marking because with how late he came on into the game, Mike, he didn't really have much time to have an impact.
Yeah, it's a fair shout. I think can't really mark him. Yeah.
And then I'll just quickly run through my Leeds ones, Mike. So I'm not going to read why I've given him. I'm just going to read the numbers. Melier, I've given a 7. Our goalkeeper. Erling, a 5.
What did Melier actually have to do though to get a 7? He made 1 save from Saka.
Yeah, that excellent. It's just that excellent save, which gave us 7. Erling, 5, didn't really do much, and we could have scored with his last touch of the game when he got substituted.
Yeah, but he didn't want to score. He didn't want to score against the team that brought him through the academy, though. So fair play.
Robin Koch, I've given a 7.
That's actually I know. Defensively, he looked all right. And actually, that's something that you noticed as well in regards to when Arsenal had the man less. They were letting Robin Koch run forward because he was overhitting the balls a lot and giving the ball away a bit. So, you kind of have to look at that a bit as well, I think.
Cooper, I've given 8 because I thought he was brilliant dealing with Aubameyang's late counter, and he did well late on and nothing really troubled him. Alioski, 7. And Pepe got out of him, Mike, was that stupid and silly red card.
Yeah.
Kane, Calvin Phillips a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Rafina and Click 7s.
Yeah.
7 for Stuart Dallas as well. It would probably be an 8 if that effort had gone past Leno, but that was a fantastic save.
It was a good save.
Nevertheless,
That one. Yeah. Uh-huh.
6 for Jack Harrison.
Yeah.
He didn't really. Bamford, I've given a 5 because we were quite afternoon for him, other than that header which came back off the post later on.
And the one that Leno saved as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Paveda didn't really have much time, bit like Miller Niles, so I'm not giving him a marking. And Rodrigo, I've given him an 8 because I thought he was our best box. So Cooper and Rodrigo, the highest of the Leeds players in my markings.
I think Leno has to be man of the match overall for the full game, though. I think for that performance, and I know you'll probably say the woodwork would be up there with a shout as well. But from an actual playing perspective, it's got to be Leno, yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to just move on now, Mike, to the comment from Nick. He says, obviously coming from Nick for you, Mike. I can't see us scoring for another 3 games. Tough matches coming up, and if I was a Leeds fan, I would have been annoyed not getting the 3 points yesterday.
I agree as well. First of all, very happy birthday, belated birthday to you, Nick, as well. I know I sent you birthday greetings over the weekend, but hope you had a great day, mate.
Yeah, happy birthday, Nick. Hope you have a good one, mate. And I may have known they didn't get the 3 points. I thought we deserved to get the 3 points, but I think we couldn't do any more than pull the ball out of the back of the net. We created the chances, just the woodwork. Leno, Tini saved Arsenal a bit yesterday for me.
I think that's a fair shout as well. Leeds with the dominant side. You look at the chances that both sides had. Arsenal had 9. Leeds had, what was it, 25, 26?
Yeah.
So yeah,
25 in total.
Leeds fans have to be disappointed not to get the win there. And actually, if you look at, I said it earlier, the way that we set up on the back of going down to 10 men, you can see that we've worked on that in training. And, for that alone, you've got to give Arteta's rating a little bit higher if we're rating the managers because, the lineup, I didn't really like the lineup. I thought the lineup could have been better. I think maybe Lacazette deserved an opportunity, maybe to try and play the 2 up front and see what that was like. And kind of had, one less man in midfield. Take off a Willock or somebody like that. And so I think the lineup wasn't great. But in terms of the way that we set up, on the back of going down to 10 men, I thought, you have to give Arteta credit for that.
I agree, Mike. I agree. And I think also just go quickly touch on a few stats here, Mike.
Yeah.
Leeds 66% possession, 25 shots, also 34% possession, by the way, guys. Yeah. Leeds 25 shots to Arsenal's 9 in the end.
Yeah.
Then we had 4 on target to Arsenal's 2. We had the woodwork 3 times to Arsenal's 1. We had 2. We made 2 saves. Arsenal made 4 saves in total.
Yeah.
And the recoveries, Leeds 67 compared to Arsenal's 55. There, Mike. So, what would you reckon about those stats? Do you reckon those reflected? I've not read all the stats out, Mike. If you want to have a look at all the stats, guys, check out LUFC Data, DATA LUFC on Twitter. I'm about to get all those and look at all those stats from our match yesterday.
I think they did reflect on the actual the game itself. I think Leeds were the dominant side, and we said it at the very start of this stream. We might as well end it the same sort of way. And if anyone deserved to get the 3 points, it's Leeds rather than Arsenal for the way that they attacked that game. And Arsenal kind of set up a little bit. Definitely in the second half, set up to kind of just see it out for a 0-0.
Yes, and sorry, we're just doing that, man. Before we went out to charge, so I've just had to quickly put it on charge so I can continue on. I just want to say, like I said as well, Mike, birthday to Nick. Hope you had a good one, mate. No, Mike's already said it from him. Just say happy birthday, mate. Hope you had a good one, and hope you're doing okay and staying safe in these uncertain times in lockdown.
That's a
Dan,
great
Dan, mate, that is. I'm doing fine, mate. Hope you are.
That's a great comment from Nick as well. Let me just jump in with this. He just sees us struggling against Wolves and Spurs. Arteta's doing well on the defensive side of it, but going forward, we are dire. Don't quite know what's happening with us at the moment. Setting up defensively, we are solid. Yeah, I agree with that. I think we are solid defensively. I think the fact we brought in Gabriel, he's made a big impact on that sort of defensive side of it as well. And he's a really, good signing and strong performer. But we need to get these strikers firing. Aubameyang and Lacazette, both struggling in front of goal at the moment. And the sooner we can get them a couple of goals again and get their confidence up there, the better. Yeah.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, it's going on towards I think it's about 8 hours since Arsenal last scored from open play, Nick, as well. Does that really concern you? But let us know in the comments maybe just before we finish. And just want to say, Mike, thanks for letting me come on here today and discussing this game. Hopefully later on in the season, when we play back in February, day after that game, we can do something similar again. And
yeah, for sure.
The game again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what I may do, Mike, at the end of the season, what I may do is on my own YouTube channel via StreamYard, do a broadcast where you can come on and we'll discuss, or we can do it on yours and discuss the season for both clubs overall and discuss the Premier League overall and see where we're going to think the team's going to finish next season and everything we're going to do in the transfer market as well.
Yeah, and we'll end it with some great news as well that's come out today. And from the 2nd of December, on the back of when this lockdown is hopefully going to be lifted by the looks of it, fans are going to be back in stadiums as well. So that is fantastic, isn't it, Russ? That's brilliant news.
It is brilliant news, man. Yes, and where it's going to be, guys, if you're in Tier 1, we can have up to 4,000 fans in Tier 1. Tier 2 is 2,000. And Tier 3, no fans. But it's glad to see that some fans are going to be able to go back to games and see how things get on from there. So glad that's happening. And I think it'll happen fairly quickly if I'm not on it. To be honest, guys, I think that could happen fairly quickly. And hopefully it happens in the Premier League or some grounds as well, and hopefully fans have to go back to some Premier League games, and hopefully, if not, continue to show them on TV till we can.
Yeah, for sure. And in regards to the lower leagues and stuff as well, I think that it'd just be great to get these lower leagues their support, because obviously the Premier League, have the money and stuff from the TV. And the lower league clubs don't really get that at the moment, so it's great for the League 1, League 2 clubs to get some fans through the door and get some more income in the bank again.
Yes, and I just want to say thanks to Nick. He's just commented in, Mike, just again saying thanks for the birthday comments, guys. And he says, and it's appreciated. And he says, good luck, Russ, on the rest of the season. Cheers, Nick. Same to you. And he says, Mike, stick through the tough times, it will get better. And hopefully, Mike, for your sake, also so it does improve. Well, then, by the time we play again in February, you're on this road where you're on in a moment, we can have another decent performance and maybe even get the win down in the Emirates, which we should have got yesterday. Should have got at the start of the season of the Emirates. Well, it's the start of the year in the FA Cup.
Yeah, so thanks for joining, Russ. Thanks for all your comments as well, everyone. You have to stick through it, Russ, and stick through it, Nick, as well with Arsenal at the moment, because it is a roller coaster ride, really. And things hopefully will get better come Thursday, come Sunday, and we'll have a few wins to talk about. But thanks for giving us your Leeds rundown, Russ. And we'll definitely do it. We'll definitely do it again in February. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no, mate. Glad to be on. And thanks for having me on, Mike. And hopefully, I know I won't speak to you before, but hopefully have a good rest of your day today, Mike. And we'll catch you again soon, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that, Russ. Thanks, everybody. And enjoy the rest of your Monday, whatever you got happening as well. There's a couple of games tonight. I think one starts in about 25 minutes or so. And then there's one later on tonight as well.
Yeah, Burnley Crystal Palace at 5 o'clock. Well, kicks off at 5:30. And then at 8 o'clock tonight is Wolves v Southampton. So make sure you check those out, both on Sky Sports in the UK. So make sure you watch those and check out those games. So thank you very much, guys, for joining. Once again, thanks, Matt, for having me on. And I'll see you again soon. Good luck to us for the rest of the season, Mike. And hopefully, in the return fixture of the Emirates, it'll be 1-0 to the Mighty Whites. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, Russ. Thanks a lot, mate. And yeah, same back to you. Good luck for the rest of the season. Unless, well, you know, sorry, I should say until even, not unless, until we play you again in February. And then, yeah, we can actually show up like we didn't yesterday.
And hopefully, if Pepe plays again, Mike, he don't do a stupid headbutt again on Alioski. That's if Alioski plays again.
Yeah, that's it. But no, thanks for joining. Thanks for doing that, Russ, as well, everybody in the chat. And I'm going to go and, you know, get ready and watch these evening kickoffs. And yeah, I'm actually going to be live on RS Media for our game against Wolves as well this coming weekend. So hopefully we do get a couple of goals from open play and a win, because it'd be nice to commentate on. I'd say that.
Yes, and Mike, I don't know if you know this, and I'll just leave it on this comment, Mike, before we go. Arsenal are the only side in the Premier League not to concede from set pieces. So I wonder if that will change against Wolves.
We'll see. Yeah, it'd be nice to win though. Anyway, I'll tell you that. And good luck for Leeds this game at the weekend as well. Who are you playing again?
Everton this weekend, Mike.
It's a tricky game, that one as well. And you know, they've got some talented players in their ranks and a bit sort of hit and miss as well. Kind of a little bit of a similar start to the season than Leeds have had, actually, in fact, as well.
Yeah, it is. But like I say, when teams come in the attackers, we seem to play better than when they don't. So glad. So I think we'll probably get a decent result there as well. And just want to say, Mike, I know it's not connected with Leeds or Arsenal, but I'm sure all the football fans out there, Leeds, Arsenal, or whoever you support, will send your best wishes to Crystal Palace midfielder Wilfred Zaha, who has tested positive for COVID-19 and will miss tonight's game, Monday night, that is, if you watch it tomorrow, against Burnley. So get well soon, Wilfred Zaha. Yeah,
absolutely. And to anyone that's suffering at the moment, you know, whether it's with coronavirus or anything else as well, you know, like the Leeds mascot there that was the mascot yesterday as well with cancer. Hopefully he gets on the mend soon and recovered from that. And then in regards to COVID, you know, Zaha, El Neni, Kolasinac, everybody that's, you know, tested positive and has, you know, had that to deal with or is dealing with that, then hopefully you're able to stay strong and get through it.
Yeah, so thanks everyone. And now hopefully see you in February when the return fixtures on. So once again, Mike, thanks for having me on. And thanks. And so just quickly run through people in the chat. So that's Colt Hunter, which was Simon. Jordan's been on as well. Russ Morgan as well. Deck Reed, who we already saw about that, but brought the attention to the fans being allowed back in.
Yeah.
CPL Cash on Twitch, which is Dan. And also Nick Wood as well. Dan May and Zoe. Thank you very much for joining as well.
Another one on TBIS Live on Live YT. Yeah.
Yeah, so RTU, and thanks for joining as well, and we'll hopefully catch you again in February time. And Mike, good luck to us for the rest of the season until we play in February. And I know you'll say the same to me about Leeds. So absolutely, all the best, mates, and we'll catch up soon, yeah?
Yeah, definitely, mate. And cheers, hopefully next time I do one of these, Spurs won't be top of the Premier League.
Yeah, cheers, Mike. All the best, mate.
Nice one. Cheers, guys. See you later.